A case that doesn't want to come out of its shell. That's what we have so far. And hello. Right. I'm just gonna do this. Oh, looks like we have enough room there for a dual 120mm rad. I might actually do that at some point. So I might actually watercool this beast. Power, reset, headset, mic. Oh, they're quite far apart. I'll be plugging it into the back then. By the looks of it, but oh well, can't be helped. This was one of the best value for money cases I could find, so I might as well. And it's yes, I quite like that. It's rather pretty. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave a protective covering on this for now. Are these captives? No, they are not. I shall be banging these into a tin that I have there. My spare parts and screws tin. Perfect. So, let's have a look, see. Yep. Oh, don't want to come off. There, got it. I'm just going to put that in the box to keep it safe and do the same with this side as well. Reasonable quality from screws. Not the best things ever, but they'll do. So we'll just put those in there. Oh, that one was easier to get off. Alright. Let's do this. Just gonna have a look at this fan at the back. Yeah, that moves some reasonable airflow there. Front USB, HD audio, switches. Oh, there's quite a lot in here actually. Have I got enough room at the back to cable manage? Yes, I do. Oh, this is going to be good. This is going to be really good. Alright, let's see. Ooh, zip ties. I needed more of those. Drive cages galore, so that's even better. I'm just going to remove those. Just so that I don't do anything stupid with them whilst I'm working on the machine. Alright, so put those there. Remove that. Now then, looks like it's technically standoffs. Hopefully, cases designed on that. Let's see here. So, one thing I do like, they have a threaded fan cable there, so that's cool. I quite like that. It's a nice design. Alright, let's have a look inside here. Oh, nope, they do include 3 brass motherboard standoffs. Very odd. Okay. Like I'm going to be needing them anyway. Alright, let's get the motherboard and just check, make sure that everything's in line with the... So we're going to be using a 970 ADS3P mainboard. We're going to just temporarily yank it out of the box and take a look here. I'll put the IO shield in a minute, but I'm just going to offer this up and see if I've got alignment, because I notice it's quite a slim motherboard. Okay. So it looks like, technically, it's all there. Okay, I like that. I'm quite happy to do that. Okay. So, one thing I sure as heck will be doing is filling in that top slot there with the extra bracket that comes with this. So, just check the screws in here. Yep, cool. I'm happy with that. So, there's instructions, not going to be needing those. Bag full of screws. Just a few zip ties, they'll definitely be coming in handy quite a lot. Bear with me a second. Okay, apologies for that, I was a little bit called there. So let's carry on here. Let me just bring my chat back up again as well, that might just be helpful. So, hello to everybody watching the stream. Not long since started, by the way, so you haven't missed much while I was doing stuff. So, anyways, I'm just going to sling in this PCIe slot bracket because I'm not going, well, this slot cover, because I'm seriously not going to be using that top slot at all. So, I'm just going to tempt that in for now. Oh wait, no, it doesn't do that. Ah, dang it, I'm going to have to screw that in, aren't I? Oh well, carry on. Right. Let's grab this IO shield. And as I'm building this up, I'm just going to sort of like run through the specs as well, so don't worry, you'll get a lot of that in here, but yeah. So, I was mentioning earlier, I'm not sure if anybody was on here when I was mentioning it, but I'm using a Gigabyte motherboard. It's the GA978 DS3P, so this is the board. Very pretty. Already put the heatsink bracket on for the Hyper 212 Evo that I'm using in here, so I'm just going to move this fan cable out of the way so I don't end up trapping it on anything. This chassis does come with standoffs already on it, so I just see it was actually, wait a minute, have they given me enough standoffs for this? Because it actually haven't. It looked like there was the entire thing was raised so that you could actually seat it. And I've only got like, well, 3 standoffs. That's interesting. I'll have to see if I can find any more. That's interesting. I'm going to check and make sure we've got a pass list actually. Oh no, they do have just 6 standoffs. Sorry, 3 standoffs. So, I don't know what that's all about. A bit weird. Let me reseat that board and have a look. Should have the I/O aligned to it. Oh no, wait, now I get it. The extra 3 are what looks to be in case you have a shorter board like I do. But everything sits nice and neat atop everything there, look. Looks like we're all good for actually seating the board in, so yeah. I'll do that in a minute. Because I also need to do power supply and all sorts of other bits and bats as well, but for now, I'm going to throw the power supply in and sling the 8-pin EPS power connector in just to, yeah, get that out of the way. Right, so let's see. And in this power supply box, I have an RM750 and a crap ton of cabling. That's what you say, power, yada yada yada. Sorry, I'm doing little bits off camera like that, but there we go, got it. So I shall route this one slightly different. So I am going to route the fan in a moment. I'll pop that there for now while I'm thinking about it. And part of this will be managed behind the motherboard tray, so it's my life a little easier. I'm going to just take this power connector, hook it up to the main board, chuck it round the back, and I will make sure that that looks at least somewhat tidy when I'm finished. Okay. Tiny bit twisted, but I'll straighten that out. One thing I sure as heck am going to do is I'm going to get my screws out. Just going to do a little bit of arranging and grab the ones I need. There's a drag cage screw. Something like that. Alright. Just realign the board with the IO shield. Like so. up. Just gotta get that one screw in. Like that. Make sure the board is secured just where I need it. And I'm just going to do a little bit of a tidy up on that for now. And then we're just going to throw the rest of these screws in. Alright. This is one down here. And there's another one over here. Top slot here, just put that in. Alright, next, just over the RAM slots. That one's going to be a bit of a pain in the neck by the looks of it, so save that one for a minute and do this one instead. So that one's slightly easier to reach, even though the 8-pin, well, it's technically going to be a 4-pin on this, but yeah. DPS power is kind of in the way. Yeah. That's now in, and now I need to find my other screwdriver. That should be interesting. I think that one should have. Alright, so yeah, that's got enough purchase on there for that. So I'm just going to in. Like so. I just spotted you got a mugshot on me there. That's cool. That's secured. Everything's down. It's not moving anywhere, so I am happy with that. I'm going to throw this top slot cover in and screw it down as well, just so that's out of the way. So I'll just do that. So I'm only going to need slots, let's see, 2 and 3, 5, 6 and 7, I think, or is it 8? No, it is 7 on this board, on this chassis. That's in. I'm going to leave this fan at the back. We're going to work on the front as well, because I've got a couple of fans that are going in the front half of the case as well. So now we've got the motherboard in. I won't do a CPU or anything like that until I've completely set the motherboard's cable management up. So I'm going to put a 24-pin power connector, hook that beast up, put it through one of the many management holes in this case. This is the best part of it. This is what I like quite a bit about this case, is that there is actually a lot of room for cable management in here. So I'm just going to lay that back down a minute. And it doesn't look like the drive cages are removable, so which means off with the front. It should just be a simple case of yank the crud out of it. And it should just, yep, pop straight off. Looks like we have a couple of filters in a, yep, I'm quite liking this. It's a nice design. And we have a main filter at the front, which appears to have clips for the fans. Interesting, I quite like this design. Okay, let me just grab a couple of my cooling fans. We're going to be using a couple of AF120s in the front here. I'm going to manage them like so. So these clip into little nubbins at the front there, and that's one fan. And like I say, I'm going to have these fans oriented so that the airflow is pulling in from the front, exhausting at the back, and also these two fans are going to have their cables arranged so that they're facing pretty much downwards. I think I'll unclip that one and just, no, actually leave it like it is. that should be enough, because they're gonna go. Oh, I'm gonna open that fan. Lead up, because we're gonna be going up to a bay if I can, just to. Yeah, I'm going. Brain dead yet? Yeah. So I'm just going to place these fans in like so. And that's that for the cooling. For the front half of the case. It's going to blow through all the drive cages, get some fresh air in for the graphics card and CPU, and all sorts for the nice little odds and ends and little gubbins. One thing I have noticed, it does not look like I'm going to be supporting the fan controller in anything but one of these bays down here in the 3.5-inch drive bays. So, minor pain in the neck, but it's only a slight technical difficulty. I can work on that quite easily with the drive cages. I can basically just sling that into one, throw it into the system, and boom. That should be fine. It looks like there's some toollessness to this as well, so I could probably, yeah, I can get away with that. So that's held in. I shall place that one in one of the lower bays, I think. But yeah, I'll work the rest of the arrangement out for the fan controller in a minute. Next stage would be to throw in the power supply actually, and get the basics managed in terms of where that's going. So the way I'm going to put this one in, fan side down, so that it's taking air from the bottom, which has got a filtered intake on this case. So that's awesome, always awesome. And then I'm going to grab a few screws from in here, because I have absolutely metric tons of different types of screw, including stuff for case fans, all sorts. So I'm going to try and find a load of black ones. It's gonna have to have a couple of silvers, but it's not too much of a big deal. It's still not going to look horrendous. That's the most important bit. So, am I short of a screw? Wow. Don't I always have good luck? Yeah, it's looking like I am short of one screw. One measly screw. I could probably get away without it, but I really just do not want to. So, yeah, I'll have to for now. Actually, wait, there's one that will fit. I can tell just by looking at the thread that's going to work. So I shall in with the power supply. Get that fan cable out of the way so I don't damage it. And then swing in my power supply. Also noticed there's little rubber grommets at the top for liquid cooling, if you want to top mount your radiators or anything like that. That I quite like, because I actually have an idea for this for another upgrade at some point, where I'm going to probably be using a custom loop. So that for me is just that little bit good. Only just a little bit. I'm just going to put that over there, because I've got my thermal compound and all that in it, which I will need in a few, but I don't need right off the bat. Okay, one thing I will note whilst I'm building this, I am short of one GPU. I'm waiting for that to arrive, but I do have the first of the first of two. I had 4 GPUs in here, that would look so baller, but yeah, I only have 2 GPUs at the minute. Oh, one of them being dead, but that's the one that's getting replaced. So I'll be doing a base configuration using the dead card in this machine just to get the basic cable management. So I'm going to use two 8-pin connectors and just basically run those in the most tidy way possible to get them to look really pretty, basically. So what I'm going to do now is slip this lot through, so that all these cables here end up all the way down there, because that's where all my connectors are. So let's do that. Let's see here, what do we got? USB, HD audio, and USB 3. So of course I'm going to connect to the USB 3. which will be going just here. I know you can't see much of this, and I do apologise, but I can't really help much of that. Kind of a bummer, really. Okay, now the cool thing I do like about this already is that these connectors are in a ribbon style cable, so that's going to look really tidy once I've managed it all and got it nice and tidy. So I'm just going to get those hooked up. Let's see here. Actually, I'm going to unplug that USB 3 for now. I'm just going to lay the case back on its side for a sec. Whilst, in fact, I'm also going to bring this lot through here so that I can much easier layer it side. Now I'm just checking to make sure that that HD audio is not going to be a pain in the neck to manage, because there's nothing worse than having an absolute pain in the neck of a connector. So, where was I? Yeah. Also, a second apology. Well, actually, one of many is that I forgot what I was about to say now. Yeah, one of the other ones I was going to say is that the camera quality does, yes, I agree, suck. I'm kind of working on that. I'm going to see if I can get a new webcam at some point, because the one I'm using is a bit, yeah, cruddy. The hard disk LED, which has no definer for which way it goes. I would assume that they would have labelled it for me, which would have been nice. Even the freaking reset switch has polarity markers on it, which is weird, because like you don't need that on a power switch. I'm talking from experience here. So let's see, we're going to put the power switch on there. The reset goes below it. This is the most fiddly bit ever. Come on, you blooming thing. There, and then... oh wait, that's the hard drive. Derp! I just take... So like I say, power and reset, they don't really need polarity markers. They go in any way around you want. It's the power and hard drive LEDs that need the polarity markers, so yeah, it's kind of a requirement now. Which is why that confused me a bit and caught me off guard. But I'm going to make sure that those are all good once I can actually get the flipping things in, because they are being a bit of a pain in the neck. One thing I also never understood is why the power indicator LED always has to have a freaking separated connector. It's just weird. I've never fully understood that. So, let's just straighten that lot out. Get that. So far all's going well. I'm just going to remanage that so it goes underneath the CPU heatsink bracket and makes it look a little bit tidier. Stand it back up. Now I'm going to throw in one of the drives that I have here, which would just so happen to be my main operating system drive, which was in a box of drives inside an anti-static bag. I don't know why I'm using a NAS drive as an OS drive, maybe because I tend to leave my computer on a lot, but yeah, in fact that's probably it. I'm going to use that as my justification anyway, who cares. So I'm using a Western Digital 1TB NAS drive for my operating system and a few apps. I have another 1TB drive that got a little damaged in my other machine because the freaking the SAT cable got bent in the position it was in, because it was in actually a very tight spot. So that took a fair bit of damage. I'm actually going to just sling that in the top bay. then let's get that fan controller in as well, because that's going to be needed, sort of. So I am just going to right, that should be enough there, just to slip that sucker right underneath the hard drive, like so. That's, it's not held in the best possible way, but it's gonna do. That's my kind of attitude, is to make do and mend. But it's an okay attitude to have if you don't mind some things being a bit of a pain in the neck with you. So, there's no side panel fans, so that's all cool. I'm going to hook that USB 3 back up, as well as the HD audio, and in fact I'm going to put the HD audio and front USB in the other hole, right next to, oh, that's USB 3, derp. So yeah, epic derp right there. So these are HD audio, front USB. I am actually going to route those as neatly as I possibly can, because the neater I can get the front of the case looking, the better, because this case has a front window on it, as I've already mentioned. So keeping it nice and clean inside is kind of paramount, especially since I'm going to be seeing a lot of this machine and doing a lot of my content off of it. So yeah, this kind of has some importance to it. So I'm just going to hook up the front USB to that's nice, and then the front HD audio to a further one. Now luckily I am going to have a few different cards in here, so stuff like a Wi-Fi card and things like that. So some of this is not as vital, but I'm still gonna make sure it's somewhat tidy in here so that it doesn't cause problems later on, because there's nothing worse than having a problem with something and it being a pain in the neck to pull something else out to be able to do the work you need to do on one thing. I'm just gonna have a look at how much airflow that fan shifts as well, by the way. Okay, so that moves a fair bit. Not going to say it moves several metric gigatons, because it kind of doesn't, but I'm going to hook that one up to a system fan header on the motherboard that does have some moderate control, because that's one of my main exhaust fans right there. So I'm going to try a slightly different routing method that I've never done to date, where I have the fan like so. And that's still loose. I might have to grab my screwdriver and tighten that up so it doesn't fall on me when I'm trying to pull the other slot covers open. I guess the good thing is that those screws are actually quite nice and tight there, so there's no risk of anything falling loose. Okay, so let's see. This is going to be a bit of a neck pain, I think, because that's quite tight already. Is that even going to fit? Probably not. That's a pain. So what I will have to do is I will have to probably run it down the bottom up to the header, which isn't too much of an issue because there's going to be 2 graphics cards and a Wi-Fi card covering all this. So if I just route that around and into its header, I'm going to have to sort that in out there just to get that in to... Because the fan header, I've actually plugged that into now. Here's the weird bit. It's a 4-pin PWM header, and it does support some speed control with 3-pin fans, which is kind of more than a bit useful. It's actually really useful. Means that this fan at the back is going to have some moderate control without needing to use the dedicated fan controller that I've just put in. So that is extremely useful. Alright. So I have the main cable management out of the way. I'm going to also sling the top fans in. I'm using two 120mm Kit Guru Edition Silent Eagle fans on here, simply because, well, I got them for free, didn't I? I got them from a competition from Kit Guru, which is kind of balling if you ask me. These are not bad fans when you run them at a low RPM. It's when you get them cranked they start to make a little bit of noise, but they are good fans. They do shift a lot of air at that low RPM, so I kind of like them for that. And they also have a black label on the top, so they're not going to look way too out of place in this case. So that's cool. So I'm just going to... Now the bit that's going to be a bit of a neck pain is where the hell are these cables going to go? Because it's not so much... Alright, so... yeah. It's not so much that the cables are too short, it's the fact that this case is actually pretty big. So it's kind of going to be a real pain in the neck just to get these fans managed and get the... Actually, no, wait, let me rethink that, because I can actually untie the fan controller's cabling and just make them a bit longer. Oh, there's quite a lot of flex in the top of this case, but anyway. So I can actually untie the fan controller's cabling and just get a bit of extra airflow out of this. Okay. Let's make it blooming egg. Just drop the screw. I'll catch that in a minute. So I think I heard where it dropped, so I shall go down and grab that. Or not, maybe. Nope, this bit has lost a screw. Not too much of an issue though. I do have another. There's nothing to be worried about. There's only going to be one silver screw in this top half of the case, but yeah. Not going to be necessarily the most aesthetically pleasing thing ever. But, I mean, come on. I'm building a black case with blue cooling fans in the front. That's not exactly going to look too fantastic now, is it? But, oh well. That cannot be helped. Just got to build the fan and install that. So, if you notice, I'm also doing the cabling so that every single fan goes in has the same cabling direction when it's in a certain place, and that's just to aid the cable management, because trust me, when you're working on a PC and the cable management is just literally everywhere and all the cables are still hanging out and getting in the way of fans, you get for me, I get absolutely fuming. The first thing I do when I see someone's custom built computer, if it's in a mess, I always redo the cable management and clean it up, make it look pretty, even if there's going to be a side panel, because doing that you get better airflow. Always look for airflow over where the heck's this cable gonna go. If you're gonna optimize for airflow with cable management, the best thing to do is actually have a case that cable manages, which is why I've got this, because it does have some headroom for cable management and making it look tidy inside. Of course, having a side panel window, it's gonna need that ability, so that's part of why I got it, because I don't like having a case that doesn't have that ability. If you don't have any cable management holes in your case and you're doing something like I am with two graphics cards in the same machine, well, it's going to look really messy because you have two extra cables to worry about there. Okay, so we're just going to run those down the back of the case like so. And they're just going to run downwards towards the fan controller. I'm not sure if I can actually they could be reached up, so that's great news. I can still run these fans in the top, so we're all good in that respect. We got the hard drive in its place, alright, so now that I've got those out of the way, I'm actually going to do the routing for the graphics card. I'm going to do GPU 0 and then add GPU 1 in there as well, but GPU 1 is not going to be the card that I throw in because, well, the second card that I throw in. I'm also going to put the Wi-Fi card in because that's going to be needed. Right off the bat, I will need the Wi-Fi card, so I'm just going to remove one of these suckers down at the bottom and throw in the Wi-Fi card because I'm going to put this in the bottom PCIe slot. I really wish I did spray paint this card black, because it does kind of look a little bit off-putting, but I'm actually not all that fussed, because even though it's going to have a side panel window, that card's going to be covered with a GPU directly above it, so it's not going to be too much of an upset. It's not going to be too visible, so I'm not necessarily going to be worried about that. Okay, let me just get my other screwdriver that's right next to me and I didn't grab for some reason. So this thing is actually magnetic, and that makes life so much easier for putting specific screws in. Okay, let's make sure that's in good, like so. Okay, now for the GPU. Well, one of two, actually, because I've got one on its way. I've also got some RAM in here, so I've got to be a bit careful when I'm pulling this card out. But I do have this Radeon 7950 WindForce edition that I'm going to be using. I'm just going to pop that there for now while I remove this cover here and the one below it. Nice and easy does it. So we're just going to yank that sucker out. That's two there, and then it's going to be two below it. I'm not going to do that right now because I just want to make sure that I've got everything in and out of the way. Make sure all the cable management is good. And get this build functional before I actually make it look even better. But so far you get a rough idea of actually what is going to go on. Because I'm going to have a nice big gap here where the two GPUs are going to be. And the best part about that for me is that it's going to optimize the airflow between the two cards. Because both cards have a downdrafting cooler, which means that they're not very good for tightly packed crossfire configurations, and yeah, I've proven that to myself before with this GPU, where I had it in with the other card in my old PC, and it damn near cut out, it got so hot. So that card does get rather warm when in a tightly packed configuration. Okay, let's grab one of the two. In fact, no, let's grab both of them and then I can manage them in, get them to look nice and tidy, and that's a Molex adapter, so I don't need that. Excuse me, yet. I do, however, need my 8 and 6 pin connectors, which I have here. I'm just checking them, because I'm going to do this in such a way that they're all sort of somewhat tidy. I'm going to need my other card so that I can actually get a base for where that's going to go. So please hold while I go grab that. Okay, I'm back now. So, like I said, this card is completely dead. In fact, it doesn't even have a heatsink on it, because that's a reminder that this card does not function. But when I'm checking my configurations and making sure that everything's going to be nice and tidy and look pretty, it does the trick. That's why I keep this card, because it is going to come in handy when it comes to actually adding the new GPU to this machine. Now, I'm just going to remove those extra slot covers and throw this in just as a reference point, so that I know. Oh, wow. Wow. This is going to be a real tight one, guys. I mean, my GPUs are going to fit in here, but there's literally hardly any clearance here to get this one in, which is like, that makes this an entirely different animal when it comes to this build. But at least it does fit. That's the most important part here, is that it actually did just go in. So I'm just gonna sling one screw in here instead of doing what I did with the other one of throwing in two, because I'm only temping this at the minute. It's going to be getting removed. I just want to do this so I can actually manage the 6 and 8 pin power connectors for the GPU themselves, and actually make sure they're not going to cause too much trouble. So I'm going to make sure I'm using the right ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to route from the bottom, I think, up to the top. So the card's going to have the cables like this. Okay, that works. So that's even better. So I'm going to grab one of those zip ties, which I put in here. That's not a zip tie, that's a wire tie. So I'm just going to grab one of these. And just hold this together. Like so. That's just going to make life a lot easier. Plus I only need a 6 pin on the bottom card at the minute. That's going to be adaptable, so that's good news. So, technical issue here, I have just derped. Again, I'm going to see if I can use my old trick of reusing a zip tie to just... Oh wow, this screwdriver's warm. Yeah, by the way, that's one thing I will do a lot in this build, is make small derps. Luckily only minor. I have never had a system fail on me from a brain derp when I was building it, so in fact I'm just going to leave that. I just spotted that my connectors are going to be upside down though, so yeah, I'm going to try and... There we go, problem solved. Problem solved. Not an issue here. Nope, nobody said anything about me making a brain derp. Did they now? Oh god, I just spotted that lag there. So yeah. Nobody said I made a brain derp. Only me. Okay. Well, let's just check this out. So, wow. That is going to be fairly well packed. Is this? There's no way I can... It's going to be difficult actually to get the side panel with all that, isn't it? Oh boy, I'm about to have some fun. Okay, let's flip it. Okay, so I'm going to go with the original idea. So I'm just going to flip this. Actually, problem solved. I have a solution to that. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to still have it the same way around as I did just then. If I can get it to flip, that is. It's just so. Please bear with me while I do this. There, right. Okay. Oh, cool. We're in. So I am going to have it like that, so that both the cards are fed with nice, juicy power. Okay, so that would be like that, that would be like that. That's compressible, so that's going to be like, that's actually a really tidy method. Okay, now I need to undo that zip tie and actually make it tidy. Okay. But yeah, that's going to be nice and tidy once I've done. That's the most important part here. So that Black Snow has nice cable management. And the zip tie is stuck. Yeah. Let's just use this chisel. See, I used the chisel to unbox the case earlier because I couldn't find my scissors, so I now have a scraping massive ass chisel, which is actually opening the zip tie now. So what am I doing? I'm going to fold that one upwards a little bit. I'm going to retie it. I am going to leave 2 pins of that loose as it goes as well, just so that I don't have to contend with any more extra problems. Alright. Alright, let's do this. So I just want to make sure that that is going to be tied at the right length as well. Because if I can get this nice and tidy, I'm going to be one happy bunny. And guess what, guys? She's actually really rather tidy. I mean, yeah, there's a bit of a bundle there, but it's not too major. I can live with a little bit of cable bundling because for some reason the ribbon on this line has been detached, which is like weird. Okay, so that's one done. That's one PCIe power connector completed. And one zip tie that keeps blooming slipping. Okay, next is the other one, which I appear to have misplaced. Oh no, wait, no, I lie, it's right here. And this one's just going to be 2 6-pins, so I can manage those away. And this one is going to go the same way around, of course. So it's going to be top to bottom. Only this time, when I manage this, I'm going to check the alignment first. Fold away the excess second, and then tie the beast third. So this time I'm doing it as a 3-step process, so that I know what I'm doing for once. I'm leaving 2-pin connectors loose at the bottom card because I know I'm possibly going to need an 8-pin on that card. Okay. So that's card configuration. It's not too much of an issue. where it worked fine for 3 days, then it just did nothing but glitch, kill my entire Windows install and cover up that. So, yeah, that other GPU is just, it's not in the best of health, shall we say. I'm gonna get that freaking USB 3 connector in that I totally forgot about, like an app. Cable I am not looking forward to 8 APS. It's gonna be such a pain in the rear end to manage this damn thing, it's unreal. Unless actually, yeah, it's gonna be a pain. I just know it's fully. Okay. In the place you need them. Let's just unlock that zip tie. Come on, unlock you. You can take it. I think I got it. Yes, I got it. Beautiful, beautiful. Stay like that. Stay like that. Stay like that. Yes, we got it. Okay. Let's now relock that, because now we've got that in the way. Needs to be held in like so. Okay, let's see here. Now we've got one load of cables in place. I need to work on the fan cables. Then it should be pretty much plain sailing from there. RAM, CPU, cooling, the that in. I am such a freaking brain derp. It's unreal. It's really unreal, man. Let's see, how do these work? Do you twist them and then... Ah, okay. I get it. So this will be going in one of the upper bays. It's going in like so. I'm gonna make sure there's no cables in the way. Okay. Looks like we're good. I think. No, I know we're good. It's gotta be good. We're all good. I think. Oh, come on. Oh, that's fine. It's not even aligned. Derp. Oh, come on. In you come. Get in. Get in. There. That's one. Get in there. In. Nyeh. Does this even fit around the optical drive bays freaking optical disc drives freaking holes here? Oh, so it does. It fits perfectly as it goes. So I don't know what this whole fiasco. I've never had such a fight with a freaking DVD burner. This is just kid fights with DVD burner and dies. That's gonna be the next headline you see in the local news, isn't it, guys? Okay, come on. Oh! Damn you! That popped out. As if you could even fight with a DVD drive bay. Like, why? What is this madness? I knew this world was crazy, but I didn't know... Well, I knew I was crazy in general, but holy crap. I'm an absolute freaking lunatic. Oh, it needs to be facing... Oh, psych... Damn it. Have we got it? Have we got it? Looks like we're going in. Yeah! We're in! That ain't going nowhere. Wow! That's actually really strong. Okay, top drive bay. Pull off the little thingy-majigger cover. Whatever. And slam that on there. I think I could probably stand to be a bit further forward. Ugh. By one whole screw, at least. It's not going to be an absolute... Whee! Okay, well, that's not going anywhere. That's nice and solidly in place. And added bonus, that's actually looking rather suave at the front. I'm surprised. It does actually look really clean, even when you've got an optical disc sticking out the front of it. Just look at that. It's beautiful. Okay. Okay, let's do some extra management back here so that it actually does look really tidy. So, one thing I absolutely am going to do. This box has all my spare bits. SATA cables, thermal compound, which I will need in a minute, so I'm going to put that there in a crossfire bridge. Okay. So one thing I'm doing for absolute certain is throwing in a SATA cable for this drive here. I probably won't need one for the second drive. In fact, no, I won't, because it's got one. Because I kind of sort of might have damaged the SATA port, the SATA connector on this drive, so it does have a permanent cable on it, which is annoyingly enough blue. Actually, no, it's not too annoying. It actually goes sort of with the theme of this system, with it being a blue colour. Okay, I'm actually going to remanage this. So that drive's going in, second down, fan controller at the very top just to make wire management just that itty little bit easier. Okay, that's it. I'm also going to throw in a 2.5 inch drive. I'm just going to throw this little 120 gig Western Digital Scorpio in there if I can. Oh, it's just a simple screws in mechanism. So cool. So I'm just going to mount it like an SSD. Use the bottom screws here. So just so you can see that. Actually, I think I need thinner screws than that. Wow, that's a pain in the neck. Yeah. It'll be these ones then, won't it? Sort of thing you'd sling in an optical drive. Yep, that's the ones. So that's one. I'm only gonna... Actually, do I even need two? Yeah, might as well. Yeah. So that will be just fine and dandy with two screws in there. Like I said, that's still really sturdy, so I'm going to put that in the bottom. Yeah, bottom 2.5 inch bay. I'm going to save up for an SSD and sling one in as well, so don't worry about that. Alright. I knew there was something I'd end up forgetting about. I am going to have to cable manage. Wait a minute, let me just think here. Do I have enough freaking SATA power harnesses for this? I probably don't. I am just one of those people that doesn't have enough of anything when it comes to computer parts. Especially for modular power supplies, I always end up losing a few cables. And when I do, the result is catastrophic. So, likelihood of me actually having a spare SATA harness that's going to feed both these drives and an optical drive in the same machine is, well, it's slim. Then again, let me rethink that statement. There is the possibility for this. It might be slim. We're talking slim pickings here, but oh boy, it could happen. One thing's for certain, the hard drives are more important than the optical drive right now, so that's what I'm going to power first. So we're just going to slam in power to 1. Two. Oh, I sure hope that that freaking SATA cable's not going to interfere with anything. Actually, could work. I might be eating my own words in a minute, but that could work. Okay, so that's one. Please tell me this is going to work. Right. So I'm just going to sling that in there for now. Them over there. Before you say it, yes, I know, I am a messy worker, and no, I'm not going to change that. Okay, let's just... Now, here's a point. I am going to have to remove that bottom hard drive. Sorry, bottom graphics card again. So that's not a problem, because I'm saving most of the remainder of the management power cabling on that later. In fact, it's mostly done now, so I'm just gonna completely remove this card here, and we are just going to connect some of these power cables, get the SATA and the SATA data cables in place. So we're just going to attach that. I'm going to sling one in the optical drive as well. It's going to be there. I am really going to have to look for an extra SATA power cable. I hope I've got one in the box for that power supply, honestly. If it's not in there, it might be in my little white box of tricks. Gate one because of the SATA cable that's on it being a little bit of a bugger. So again, with the chisel, just going to loosen off that zip tie again. I guess is the good thing about zip ties is if you've got an object like a utility knife or something, you can just slack the beast off like so. Slip in whatever you need, that's what she said, and tie it back up again. And that just makes life a little easier. Okay. So I am just going to throw in that, and that's the drives hooked up and ready. One thing's absolutely certain here is that some of this cable oh wait, that's no hard drive, that's optical. Derp. I do need to, however, plug in that hard drive, so that needs to go down a socket. I might actually put the hard drive in the bottom one of that. That's just going to make life a little easier. So it's going directly below. Oh, come on. There, that's in. Okay, where's this other cable? Because I need to get these in order just so that I can correctly identify each driver as it should be. Right. I'm just going to do a little bit of work with the management of the lower half of all this cabling, which I am actually going to use a smaller zip tie for because these things are much easier to work with. And then one thing I am absolutely going to have to remember to do is also prepare the GPU power connectors as well. So that becomes obviously a real issue if I don't. So that's another thing I will be doing. So I'm not going to actually ratchet this monster down yet. In fact, I'm not even going to put anything in there at all yet. That's what she said. Okay. What I am $750 is a recommendation for a Crossfire setup like this, so that's good enough. I'm happy with what I have power-wise, so that's all cool. I know one thing's for sure though, I don't know where I'm going to put all this extra cable. Oh, this is going to be fun to try and manage all this. Oh boy, actually wait a minute. Hold the phone here. No one saw this. Nah, I'm just kidding, you can look. This isn't sacrilege or anything stupid like that. I don't do sacrilegious acts with my computers. Or at least most of the time. Okay. Oh, wait. That needs to go under everything, not over it. See, this is the bit that's a pain in the neck. Cable management. When you haven't got a lot of room, which I know for a fact I am not going to have, yeah. Good luck trying to find a place where all your cables are going to go. Now, one thing is absolutely apparent here, is that I'm going to have to wait to connect these two up. And my laptop has disconnected its charger for some reason. So I'm just going to leave that unsnipped for now because I want to work on that a bit further and just make sure that all my cables are going to be somewhat tidy enough for that panel to close. Because I'm already noticing a slight issue here, is that there's not even an inch on these panels to be able to get that on. So it's going to take some serious force to close this. At least, however, we have most of what we need already hooked up now. So I'm just going to hide the extra Molex connections up here in the loft of the case. That's just going to make things a little bit easier when I go to finish the management off. Make it look a little bit tidier. So I'm just going to do that. Tighten that back up. And just make it look a little bit more presentable in here. So on this side it doesn't necessarily matter too much when it comes to the actual overall appearance of your cabling, but I tend to like keep it at least somewhat tidy. The tidier you can make it look in the back, the tidier it should look in the front. It's kind of a weird double-edged sword sort of thing. And so far, minus the massive cabling at the bottom here, it's actually not looking too horrific. So that's cool. And now I know the lengths of these cables, I can take these snips and just trim off the extra bits of the wire ties there, well, zip ties. Well, I guess so. Let's take that, snip, done. Now, I've noticed an issue, because I'm going to have to really pull these through here and just sort of like wire manage them in the bottom of the case, which is a bit of an issue, but actually not too bad. Means I end up with a rat nest in the base of this case, but if it's all I can do, it's all I can do. And all I can do is good enough to keep this machine running perfectly. So we are just going to yank that. Make sure all that's nice and steady. And we are going to hopefully be able to close the side panel on this. Okay, I need another large zip tie. Where did I put them? Great, loses his main zip ties. Okay, where did I put them? Where did I put them? I'm really good at hiding stuff from myself here, aren't I? So yeah, I'm having issues with that. Almost done though. It's taken me a while to get this actually set up because I'm not quite used to this case yet, but I'll just have to use a minuscule itty bitty teeny weeny little thing that they call a zip tie. Oh god, this bundle here is going to be an absolute pain. I'm going to have to lock it further up and move the mic away from my face again. So if I just lock it up here. Well, that holds quite well, actually. That'll do the trick. Where did I put my snips? There. The mic won't stop going near me. It's like it loves me or something. It's like, notice me, senpai! Oh man, I really hope this freaking fits. This is going to be a real problem, is this massive cable behind here. I'm not even kidding. It's going to be such an ass to get all that tidied. Well, it's tidy enough that I can snip that up a tie now, so there, that's that. But wow, that's a big ass bundle at the bottom there. So I think we're about there. We have all our main power cables galore connected. So what I'm going to do now is put this nifty little plastic bracket over the thing here, like so. That's at least somewhat tidy. I don't like the rat's nest in the bottom of the case, but it's managed enough that it's not going to cause any problems with this system at all. Have I got all my drive cages in? Yes, I have. I'm just checking to make sure I've got all my... Yeah, I'm going to get another one of these slot covers as well. In fact, I have a silver one in here. It's just to stop any extra dust from getting into the machine, so it's not necessarily vital, but it's kind of a good idea to have some slot covers in here just to make sure no crap gets into your computer. Now, where's the good screwdriver? There it is. So I'm just going to hammer that in there. Just going to make sure you can actually see what's going on here as best I can. I was also asked when I mentioned that I was upgrading my system, so what's going to happen to the Microterra? Well, I can rest assured the Microterra is not getting permanently retired. I'm going to turn it into a NAS. It's going to become the Microterra NAS edition, so don't worry, it's going to become a storage server. So I am not completely dropping service of that machine. I'm going to find as low power AMD CPU as I could possibly find that will fit in that motherboard. And it's going to still be getting some action, just that it's going to be storing all my prawns and stuff. So it's just going to be doing stuff like image-based backups and all the sorts of other servery type bits and bats that, yeah, any other computer would get bored over, but yeah. That one's been with me for a bit. It's quite a powerful little machine, actually. Most of the components from that machine are going in this, so yeah. Stuff like the memory is going to be running in its channeling and all sorts of other bits and bats. It's going to be running in this board. So, okay, that's done. That's out of the way. But yeah, I will have my own NAS, and I will probably try to get about 4 or 6 terabytes with it. So yeah. Okay, next step, which is one of the penultimate ones. CPU cooler, I need the fan for it, and I also need my CPU, as well as the thermal compound in this metal tin. Okay, so where did that fan take flying lessons to? There. So I am using a stock fan for the heatsink. I sadly don't have any Noctua fans, or else I would have had those instead, and I've found my white zip ties, by the way. Anyway, so yeah, I would have done that if I actually had the means of being able to do so. So yeah, Slight issue with that, but it's not something so major that the world's going to end. It just means I get a little tiny little bit of extra fan noise. Other than that, so yeah, anyways, where was I? Oh yeah, I'm just gonna make sure that this fan screw fits through, which it does. So we're in business still. If I'm gonna have it this way around, I should have the fan like that. And then, right. I should work out where this fan's actually gonna go, because I'm gonna be drawing air through and up. So I'm just gonna tighten this sucker up. God, that's a tight old screw right there. And that's what she said. God, I need to stop with these jokes. I'm too dirty-minded for my own good here, aren't I? But yeah. I'm going to change screwdrivers just so that I don't end up rounding these ones out. This fan shroud thing that you got to put on to stop the fan from falling off your heatsink. So let's just slam that one there. Let's screw it into place. Do the same for this side. And then we're going to see how far that fan cable goes. Oh, that's perfect. That's absolutely fantastic. Okay, get it? Fantastic. Puns. Anyway, CPU. So, again, from the Microterror, I'm using my FX 6300. You can see the Hyper 212 there without its fan on it, but yeah. CPU is going to be this beast, and let's sling it in. So I'm just going to grab that, take this, pull the chip out, drop it in, lock it, give it some thermal compound, slam a heatsink atop it, and bang, done. This system will then be bootable. So I'm just going to put a nice thin layer of compound on that chip. Here's across because it gives you better coverage over the heat spreader. If you can get a nice thin cover of compound, that's fantastic. If you can get a nice thin cover of compound that's nice and even, that is not going to have a lot of air bubbles, that's even better. And that's what I always aim for. I always aim for a nice even coverage of thermal compound that's just enough to cover the chip's surface, but not so much that you end up with an actual bit of resistance, thermal resistance. When you get that, you know you got a problem. So I'm just going to lower that on and start tightening her up. My freaking thumb screws were going to go flying then. So I'm just going to make sure that these screws are actually set to the right length as well. And then we're just going to get them biting. That's what she said. And start slamming them in like so. Just going to make sure that's actually biting. And then I'm going to just do 7 turns per screw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's try that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like so. And I'm just going to keep going like that. And I'm just going to tighten all that down actually, now that we're near the bottom. Now, since we're not using a land grid array type socket, the LGA type that Intel uses, doing this evenly is not as important as it would normally be. I still recommend doing it in pairs like I did, so like that screw, then that screw, and then that screw. But it's not as important. The only reason you do that still is to make the thermal compound spread a lot better. Okay, now I know for a fact, because I'm actually using some somewhat low profile DIMMs in this machine, that my RAM is actually going to sit nice and sturdy in its sockets, and it's not going to be too much of a pain in the ass to get in, unlike this CPU fan header. So I'm just going to get that in first. That's in. CPU fan's on. And because of the way that I already had it pre-managed before, that's now sitting nice and tidy. Okay, I'm just going to touch this radiator that's next to me so I can ground off any static charge and then I don't damage the modules. But I'm using these memory modules. These are 4 GB of Zeppelin DDR3. Now, I have 2 of those, and I'm not putting them in the grey sockets, I'm putting them in the black sockets. Mainly because they're slightly closer to the CPU, which just helps with any latency issues. The lower the latency you can get with RAM, the better. I'm just going to move that fan out of the way. So then that DIMM's going to go in, and then I can just sort of clip it in, and that's one. And then I'm going to pick this other black slot so that these modules run in dual channel mode. Like so. Now that that's in there, that's now in place. Everything is good. Everything is great. Okay, let's hope that this side panel is going to go over that heatsink. Oh wow, it only just does. So that's good news. Alright, so that's great. Okay, where did I put that other side panel? Right over there. Alright, so that's everything. This system is now fully loaded. And as you can see, it does actually look somewhat tidy. It's not as tidy as I could have got it, but it's at least not gonna have too many issues with airflow. I am going to put one more zip tie in though, just for good measure, just to make sure that these cables here remain quite tidy. So I'm just going to do that and zip, make it nice and tight, grab the snips and like so. That's done. We're all out of the way. Those cables can still split apart and down. So that's literally about it. Now I'm going to put the side panels on, of course. I'm going to remove plastic from the side panels. We're going to make it look even better by doing that. Oh, look at that. Nice clean side panel. And we are going to lay her down ever so sweetly and gently and just sort of make sure I'm actually putting this on the right height here, of course. But yeah, that freaking heatsink, it just barely fits on. It literally only just fits. With, of course, minor application of force required just to get it to seat properly, but that's that. And then we're just going to screw her in. Like so. And then we're just going to sling another one in there. I'm actually going to just, because these have got little screws in the middle of them, so I'm just going to tighten these down with that. Make sure that that side panel ain't ever going to come back off until I need to dust this sucker. Alright. Now here's the bit that I'm seriously dreading, and in fact I'm also going to grab a towel or something to stop me from scratching one side of this case, because I just want it to look pretty, and it already does. So I'm just going to grab this towel. Okay, just move that across a little bit. I'm also going to put these screws in my spares bag like so. And same with that, and that little baggie will come in handy at some point, I bet, for storing screws when I'm working on another machine. Alright, so I'm just going to clear this off, because I'm going to lay the towel here and just straight on. This way I don't scratch that side panel window. In hindsight, I would have left that freaking plastic on. Here we go. Now for the moment of truth. Can I get it on? That's what she said. Would you look at that? There's a little bit of bulging there, but it's not really noticeable. So we're just going to throw in the screws. I'm actually going to check that that's actually... Yep, that's well aligned. Goody good. Or as one bloke said, goody gumdrops. I don't know why, but it's kind of an unusual phrase. I quite like it though. Okay, let's tighten that one up. Okay. Done. And that concludes the build. I hope you guys liked this. If you were watching this video on YouTube, please subscribe, rate and comment. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more of me doing stuff like this, it's going to be rare because I don't have a lot of computers that need work or anything like that, so yeah. I will try my best to get more in for you to see this. The next video I do will be installing the second graphics card just below there, so don't miss that. And also if you were watching on the stream, thanks guys, you've been awesome, absolutely awesome. Yeah, I will see you guys the next video I make. Hopefully I will also be live streaming on this again. So thanks guys.